If you were charged with murdering your wife, would you plead guilty to getting rid of her body? Particularly a body that was dismembered using a hacksaw? That's what Brian Walshe just did. And why, if you didn't kill her, would you dispose of her body in the first place? Brian Walshe goes on trial for murder next Monday, December 1, and he'll give his explanation. Should be a doozy. Prof Jo will provide gavel-to-gavel commentary and can't wait to hear Walshe explain. So ciao a tutti, and to all you profers out there, hello, hello. I'm Prof Jo, a law professor, and this is Prof Jo Explains. I'll be doing real-time coverage of the Brian Walshe trial from my trial and on Surviving the Survivor, and I hope you'll join. And I hope you'll follow me on Prof Jo Explains and subscribe. Please subscribe if you would. You can comments or questions here or send them to me at askprofjo@gmail.com. You can also reach me at Prof Jo Explains on Facebook. And if you want deeper dives, live meets and greets, question and answer sessions, and much more, then my Patreon is the place for you. And it's ad-free. So now let's look at photo one. Let's go to Brian Walshe. He is the son of a prominent Massachusetts doctor who disinherited him because, as the doctor said, he had neither common sense nor propriety. In April 2021, Brian pled guilty to trying to sell fake Andy Warhol paintings. It seems Dad was right. And now photo two, we're going to see Anna Kripp Walshe. Anna Kripp Walshe was a Serbian immigrant. At the time of her death, she worked in real estate in Washington, D.C., and commuted back and forth to Massachusetts. She was the family breadwinner. Brian and Anna met in 2008, and we've got a picture of the wedding, I believe. They married in December 2005, and they had three sons. And Anna went missing on New Year's Day in 2023. She was 39. And when she went missing, her boys were 2, 4, and 6. In August 2014, a year before she and Brian married, Anna filed a police report saying her boyfriend threatened to kill her. Forewarned should be forearmed, but in this case, it wasn't. Unfortunately. And so we're going to put up a timeline of the major events in this case involving Brian Walshe, and I'll leave them up there for you to read them while I go on talking about the case. So here we go. You've got the part of the timeline. Anna's body has not been found. What was found was a Google search on the laptop of one of the boys. And here are the questions that were part of the Google search. How long before a body starts to smell? 10 ways to dispose of a body if you really need to. Is a hacksaw the best tool to dismember a body? What happens when you put body parts in ammonia? Is it better to throw away crime scene clothes or wash them? Remember what Brian's dad said about Brian? Dad certainly knows his son. And that's only the beginning of the evidence. Brian is caught on camera throwing trash bags in dumpsters. The trash bags had the DNA of Anna and one of the sons. They contained a hacksaw with human tissue, Anna's necklace, her COVID vaccination card, and even the clothes she wore on New Year's Eve. Oh, and Brian never reported Anna missing. Her employer did that. And now we're going to put up photo 5 to show you Brian shopping. There was blood found in the basement and a broken knife. I assume there will be a match with Anna. And Brian was caught on camera, you can see it right there, with a surgical mask and gloves on, buying $450 worth of cleaning supplies. Brian also told multiple lies about what he was doing on January 1. Need a motive for this crime? There were problems in the marriage. A couple of years before the murder, Brian Googling again, he seemed to like to Google. Brian Googled to learn which states treat men best when a divorce happens. He discovered that Massachusetts, where he lived, was third worst in treating men. I suppose that meant he should have moved. Or Anna was living most of the time in Washington, D.C., in the years immediately preceding the murder. She reportedly wanted out of the marriage, and she was also involved in a long-term affair. So here's the question. Why, with all that evidence, and I'm assuming there's more, why didn't Brian Walshe plead to murder one and hope for some sort of a deal? My best guess is hope springs eternal for Brian. He, I think, seems to think he may get an acquittal. So what can we expect from the trial that's, as I said, starting on Monday? At the pretrial hearings, the prosecutor and defense lawyers seem to play nice in the sandbox. So if that continues, I don't expect fireworks from the defense lawyers and the prosecutor as the case goes on. But what the defense will be is very hard to imagine. If Brian did not kill Anna, which evidently is what he's going to say, then who did? The obvious questions he's going to need to answer if he claims he did not do it. And now we have a picture of their house in where they lived immediately prior to this event. And you'll see that the house is very expensive, and it's in a very affluent community in Massachusetts, Cohasset, Massachusetts. So here are the questions. Who got into the house on New Year's Eve and killed Anna if it wasn't Brian? How did this person get into the house? Where was Brian? Why didn't he stop it? Why didn't he call the police? Will he claim that the killer then used the hacksaw to dismember Anna's body? Or will he admit that he did that? Remember, he's already admitted that he transported the body. A bloody hacksaw was used. And Brian Googled, again, about using a hacksaw to dismember a body. Why was Brian cleaning up after the murder and getting rid of the evidence? Why was he at Home Depot buying $450 worth of cleaning supplies? The evidence is unassailable that he did all those things. And why? If he didn't kill her, did he dispose of the body? What possible explanation is he going to be able to offer for all this? For cleaning up the scene and disposing of the evidence, for removing Anna's body and then lying to the police about what he did? And where is the body? Anna's body has never been found. Will Brian say that he found all the evidence down in the basement and decided to tidy the house up? Because after all, who wants a messy house, particularly in an affluent neighborhood? Is he going to say that the killer threatened him or his sons, and that's why he did all the cleanup activity? Is the killer someone he knows and he's trying to protect him? I thought the defense in the Dan Markel murder case, and if you don't know the case, I've done a few videos on video episodes on them, and you can find them at Prof Jo Explains. I thought that defense was as silly and unbelievable a defense as it was possible to make. I did not think anyone could top it. But from all we can tell, Brian Walshe is about to try. Opening statements in the trial are Monday. A jury of 16, 12 plus 4 alternates has been selected. As I said, I'm going to be doing gavel-to-gavel coverage for Surviving the Survivor. We'll need to wait and see how this trial will play out, but I have 2 predictions. First, the judge is tough and decisive. That's not a prediction. That's from watching her at pretrial hearings. So my prediction is she's going to be in control. She's going to make firm rulings, precise rulings, quick rulings. All to the good. That's what I like to see in a trial. Second, my prediction is Brian Walshe will testify. It's generally not a good idea for a defendant to testify at his trial, and particularly not a good idea for this defendant because he doesn't strike me as being the brightest light on the, in the array of light bulbs on your shelf. But it's hard to imagine how he's going to actually present a defense at the trial, however convoluted it's going to be, without taking the stand. So, some of you may have seen All About Eve. It's an old movie, really a very good movie with Bette Davis. And it has, I will tell you this is kind of an aside, it has a very young Marilyn Monroe in it, and in one of her first not starring, but one of her first roles in a movie. And I actually can see her sort of sitting on a staircase in the living room. But, that's just a digression. Don't pay attention. But Bette Davis has a memorable line in that movie, and I think it fits here. She said, fasten your seatbelts. It's going to be a bumpy ride. And that's my other. I said I had 2 predictions. This is my third. I think the trial will turn out to be a bumpy ride, well worth watching. So come join me at the trial. I'm Prof Jo, and this is Prof Jo Explains. Now, before I sign off on this, I want to talk a little about Allison Galvan. Some of you may know about Allison. She's got a YouTube channel called My Father's Alibi. And today, Tuesday, November 25th, I can report happily that Patrick Galvan was arrested. And he's right now sitting in the San Mateo County Jail. If you don't know about the case, let me tell you a little about Allison first. She's an epidemiologist. She's the director of the Center for Infectious Disease Modeling and Analysis at Yale. Very, very high-powered job, very time-intensive job. In August 1982, Allison's mother was murdered. There's lots of evidence to show that Patrick, her father, was the perpetrator. Allison, as she tells it, had some glimmers about what might have happened. She was 5 at the time, but her memories really coalesced. And there's her picture. She's the little girl. That's her mother. Her memories finally coalesced when Allison had her first child. And then the memories came rushing back. And she has spent several years now working very hard to have the prosecutors take another look and prosecute her father for the murder 43 years ago. She spent a lot of time, a lot of effort. She started that YouTube channel to garner some attention for the murder and maybe some support for it. And now she has succeeded. He's under arrest. The trial, I don't know when it'll start, but there will be a trial. And I'd like to shout out to Allison because she really did an incredible job, stuck to it, even though, she had a very, very busy life, 3 children of her own, but she was determined to see justice be done for her mother. So with that, hope to see you on Monday. Ciao a tutti, ciao profers, and I'm signing off.